what comes into your mind when you think about Seoul? Perhaps skyscrapers, traffic, or the beautiful night view? Well, these make up only a very tiny part of the city and its history, and a photo exhibition is taking place showing how the city has transformed into what it is now over the centuries. And our Im Yuni joins us here in the studio to tell us more about this exhibition. Good morning, Yuni.
Good morning, that's right. So the Seoul Photo Festival has collected thousands of photos over the years to help tell the story of Seoul and its rich history. So take a look.
It's hard to imagine as cars whiz by in a city that over 10 million call home, a different landscape. There are hundreds of offices, museums and structures crowded here in the capital. But decades ago, most of these buildings weren't here. And the ones that were, well, they've withstood the test of time and now represent the rich history within the city. These are the pictures of our capital. They're the pictures of our Seoul.
Photography first entered Korea in the beginning of the 1880s, and since then, we've been able to document pictures of Seoul. This year marks the 620th year since Seoul has been considered the capital, and for over 500 years during the Joseon dynasty, there wasn't much change to the circular structure. But after foreign influences entered, everything from the shape of the city to the style of architecture changed.
And it was these foreign influences that drove the direction of Seoul for the next 50 years. During the Joseon dynasty, Seoul was actually called Hanseong. But with the trickling in of Western culture, buildings began to show a much different style. And when Japan invaded, Hanseong became Gyeongseong, and the streets really began to reflect physical changes. Although foreign influence crept in even more and more, there was still a strong presence of a traditional Korea, and the struggle between the two was evident throughout the city. It wasn't until the sudden destruction of the Korean War, a war that almost wiped the slate clean, that Gyeongseong became Seoul, and the capital of Korea saw an explosion of transformation.
After the Korean War, the need for reconstruction was immediate, so everything happened quickly. And that's how the modern Seoul began. Things like the Namsan cable car and the 6-3 building were raised as a result of the industrial development that gripped the city, leading to economic growth and ultimately the development of Korea.
Along the way, sacrifices were made in order to reveal some of Seoul's most beautiful attributes. And now that the dust has settled, the result is a city of splendor and of endless possibility. The colors of Korea will always keep changing, shining a bright light on the future ahead.
So Yuni, the festival definitely captures the moments in the history of Seoul. And I heard that this event is an annual one.
Right, so the festival actually started in 2012. Now in the past, they've covered topics such as memory, people, and space. And through these different themes, they've covered different aspects of Seoul and its history through photographs. And so this year, the theme is the birth of Seoul's visual and spatial realms. And they aim to explore how Seoul went from Hanseong to Gyeongseong to Seoul, what it's known as today.
Right. And I heard that the festival offers more, adding to the photo exhibition to provide the visitors with the chance to learn more about the history of Seoul.
Right. There are actually quite a few other events that they are offering as part of the festival as well. So this year they're offering a historical sites tour where they actually take you on a tour through the different sites that were included in the tours that they had in when Japan invaded Korea. So there was a tour specific to that time, and so they're actually going through that tour once again. But they're also screening many Korean movies, and some of these movies date back even to the 30s. And so you can imagine, you can learn quite a bit about what life was like at that time through obviously photos and of course movies as well.
30s, interesting.
Yes.
All right, Yuni, thank you for that.
My pleasure.